Hi, this is Mark Bunker, or as I'm now known to many of you, Wise Beard Man. To which I say, you must learn to use the Force, Luke. I want to say that I'm heartened by all the comments that I've been getting from everybody. The vast majority of everyone who's been emailing me have responded very positively to my first message, and I appreciate that. I got to tell you, though, that I am not physically able to respond personally to everybody. I've always made it a habit of giving a response to everyone who's emailed me, even if it's just a simple thank you. I have spent the entire day, though, responding to people, and it's the tip of the iceberg. I have 3 email accounts. I responded to everybody on the first account. Then I went to the second account and responded to everybody. I opened up the third account, and there was another 1,074 emails waiting for me. I can't even get through reading all of them today. And I just want to say I appreciate all the very kind words that you folks have given me, and the comments that you've made, and there's only been a few people who disagree with me, you know, a couple of F you fat guys. You know, I can understand and appreciate that. I don't think my message is going to get through to everybody. I am concerned, however, that the activities of a few may harm the majority, and I want to speak to you a little bit about that. I'm getting a lot of questions about picketing. How best should people picket? Well, there's a really good answer for that, and it comes from Jeff Jacobsen, who is a proponent of what he calls Gandhi Tech, the peaceful application of picketing. And it's very important that you follow those rules, I think. I know you're having a big event on February 10th. I've been invited to it. I plan to attend one of those pickets on February 10th as an observer. I will be there with my camera and try to record the events. I'm sorry, I cannot be a part of Anonymous, and as long as there's any type of illegal activity continuing. And I know a lot of you people, I've heard from people, well, the DDoS attacks, or whatever it's called, the denial of service attacks, those aren't really illegal. It's just, you know, a bunch of people looking at the site at the same time. Well, that may be. I don't know the legality of it. I just know that it's a suppression of free speech, and I'm opposed to that. Whether Scientology does it or critics do it, I think it's inappropriate. And I'm very concerned. You know, your first message, the first videotaped message from Anonymous, scared the crap out of me. I can't imagine what it was like to be in Scientology and to see the V for Vendetta type of what seemed to be a threat against Scientology. It's very scary, and I understand the theatricality of it. I understand the Guy Fawkes masks and V for Vendetta, and you know, there's a part of me that can appreciate that. But I do think that, you know, you do set yourself up for charges of terrorism. You're saying you want to destroy Scientology, and frankly, I just don't think that's possible, and I don't think it's a goal that I've certainly tried to pursue. There's always going to be people who believe in Scientology. There's always going to be people who believe in L. Ron Hubbard, no matter how many times you can show them documented evidence that L. Ron Hubbard was nothing but a con man and a fraud, that his entire life was filled with nothing but lies. They're still not going to believe it. I mean, you've got people who still believe in Adolf Hitler. You have people who still are members of the KKK, no matter how vile something is. And I'm not saying Scientology is as vile as those two groups, but no matter how vile a group is, there's always going to be people who believe it. There are people who believe that the earth is 6,000 years old and Jesus romped around with dinosaurs. You can't convince them otherwise. You can say, listen, we've got science, you know, that kind of proves that wrong. Not to them. So you're not going to shut down Scientology. All you can do is get out the truth, and that's very important. And knowing the truth is really important. So keep reading, keep watching the videos on XENU TV, keep learning all you can. I watched a video today of some people in Orlando doing a picket, and well done. You know, you did a good job. You can hear from the car honks that people are receptive, that they already understand that there's something hinky about Scientology. We have to explain to them what the problem is, the fraud and abuse that's built into Scientology. If people want to believe that they were blown up in a volcano by XENU, they're welcome to believe that. I think they have to be honest about it, though, and that's the problem. Here's one of the things that you're going to encounter when you take to the streets and actually encounter some Scientologists. And by the way, the vast majority of the Scientologists you'll meet are really good, decent people. They sincerely believe in what they're being fed. They believe Hubbard is a genius and he has the only salvation for the planet, and they want to save the planet. They feel they're the only ones who can. They're not the problem. You know, they're the ones that we're hoping to help. They're the ones that we hope to show the truth, and, you know, either they leave the group or they help reform the group so they stop being abusive. There's a subsector of Scientologists who practice in what's called the free zone. Those are people who think that the organized Scientology church is run by criminals and they want nothing to do with it, and they practice Hubbard's tech outside of Scientology. Those people I consider friends. They don't hurt anybody. They don't create the abuses. They're not practicing disconnection. They're not the ones trapping Lisa McPherson in a room for 17 days until she dies. I have nothing but appreciation for those people, and they are, Godspeed to them. You want to, believe in Hubbard? Go ahead. We have the documents here showing that, he lied about everything, but you want to believe him? You're welcome to, as long as you know what you're getting into. And that's another thing in Scientology. When you encounter the Scientologists and you say, XENU this, XENU that, you got blown up in a volcano, the majority of Scientologists do not know this story. I was on a radio show this past week, and by the way, up there, you'll find a link. The host of the show asked me to do an hour. Halfway through the show, Pat Jones, or her name was Pat Jones, it's now Pat Harney, called in and wanted to be on the show with me, and the producer asked me during a commercial break, "You want to talk to her?" And I said, "Absolutely, put her on. I'd love to talk to her." So we started getting into it, and Pat was refusing to acknowledge XENU at all. And she was saying, "Wow, I've been in this for years, and I've never read any of this material." Well, it turns out the following day she was invited back for the full hour. And she admitted she wasn't even clear yet. So no, she hadn't read any of that material. She wasn't lying. She was telling what Scientology calls an acceptable truth. And this is one of the problems in Scientology. They will tell their lies nonstop. The vast majority of the Scientologists that you'll encounter don't know anything about XENU because they're not up to those upper level secret, levels yet. And they're not going to believe you. If you say XENU, 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 they'll say, "What? It's nonsense. This has nothing to do with XENU." Not yet. Once they get up there, they'll find out that, yes, indeed, it has everything to do with that. Every step of the way in Scientology, you're being led up the bridge to total freedom, these increasingly expensive courses. And it all comes down to this. You're going to find out that you've blown up in a volcano and you're covered with body thetans. And to really progress as a spiritual being in their eyes, you have to talk to these body thetans and convince them to get off your body and to get out of your area. And once you remove those, then you're fine. But the people you'll meet don't even know about this yet for the most part. So be prepared for that. They're not lying to you. They honestly don't know. And it's a bait and switch religion in that respect, and I think that's one of the frauds. They should just be honest about it. They should just tell you up front, listen, be part of Scientology. We can help you. You're covered with BTs. We'll get rid of them. Of course, no one would join if they said that, but it would be good to be honest. At least don't lie about it when somebody brings it up, okay? At least they stop raiding the homes of people who released that material originally back in the 90s. But I'm off subject.